There are what feels like a million guides to acing the interview out there. Some are okay, others are downright terrible. There's nothing wrong with giving people advice like dress appropriately or have some intelligent questions ready. To me, telling someone to dress appropriately for an interview is like telling someone that to be good at basketball, you need to practice your free throws. It's not wrong, but there's just more to basketball than mastering that one single thing. And this video is going to remedy that. I'm Mike. I've got 25 years of experience from pharma, tech, and consulting. I've held C-suite roles in human resources in international companies. I have degrees in business, human resources, and psychology. On this channel, I cover business and careers. I analyze and pick apart why companies do the things they do, and I provide advice on careers and navigating the corporate world. Today, it's the interview and how to ace it. Let's get stuck in. A couple of examples of the advice you hear when it comes to acing the interview include stuff like dressing appropriately, arriving on time, being hygienic, and you'd be surprised how often this is actually an issue. There's also preparation advice, like reading the job description, researching the company on the internet or on their website. There's also the Q&A based stuff, so being specific when answering questions, providing specific examples of how you worked with something and solved a specific problem, keeping it brief, making your points precise, using the STAR model, so situation, task, action, result. Then there's also how you answer the question like, why do you want this specific job, or why are you leaving your current job? All of this is good. All of it's relevant. There are a lot of good guides out there, but generally speaking, they miss the point because they're all down in the weeds and the details. And for some of you, the details is where you're comfortable. Knowing that you should dress appropriately might not be top of mind to you, so it is helpful advice. But there's one thing that almost every single of these guides miss. They miss explaining what you're trying to achieve. And I mean, sure, you're trying to achieve getting the job, but why is it important to dress appropriately? Why is it important to do your research? Basically, I think there are some fundamental principles that should be guiding all your decisions regarding the interview. When you know the principles, I believe you'll be empowered to actually ace the interview. There are 4 principles, and because this is a professional channel and I've been in consulting briefly, I'm going to give it an acronym. I'm going to call it the GIVE model. It's be good, be interested, be valuable, be easy. Be good. You need to demonstrate that you can actually do the job. This is where those guides will tell you to be specific and use practical examples of work experience. You want to demonstrate competence throughout the interview.
How will your experience selling refinery equipment translate to our smaller scale here?
You don't work in sales, do you?
You should always be able to reference specific examples of times where you did something that is core to your job and how you did it well. If you're a bookkeeper, you need to explain how you structure your day. You need to tell them how you start your planning when it comes to month-end close. If you're a project manager, you need to be able to explain how you do a kickoff with a team and how you put together either a waterfall plan or a sprint approach. Being specific, being factual, those are the things you're told because those are the important components to demonstrating that you're good at what you do. The thing you need to understand is that interviews often fail as accurate assessments of job competency. The only true test of competency is in performing the job itself. Explaining how you do your job in an interview doesn't guarantee that you can actually do it. Just like being able to explain how to fly a plane doesn't mean you can actually fly one. Competence is demonstrated through structure and clarity. It's a communication exercise. If you can't explain something clearly, the recruiter will assume you can't do it. How you convey your competence is more important in the interview than competence itself. Being concise and understandable is key to showing that you are good at what you do. That's what you should be trying to achieve when you are demonstrating that you are good at your job. And this is where I kind of provoke myself and say, how do you know that me, this person on YouTube, is actually good at what they're doing? Those 25 years I have in business, you don't actually know. So what are you basing your assessment of me on right now? My guess is it's whether or not you can follow my argumentation, whether it's clear to you what I'm saying. Those are the things that are important to you in assessing whether or not I actually know what I'm talking about. If I'm easy to follow and understandable, you're more likely to assume that I know what I'm talking about. The same applies to you. So you have to have your examples ready and make sure they're organized and structured and easy to follow. That's what's going to increase the likelihood of people assuming that you are actually good at what you do. Hopefully I'm coming across as delivering good content that you find relevant and interesting. If so, then click the subscribe button below. You'll get notified every time I put out a new video, and this channel will be your go-to for business and career insights. Thanks. Be interested. A big turnoff on a date is when the other person doesn't seem interested. the same applies to interviews. Showing interest by asking questions about the company, by referencing their website, maintaining eye contact, smiling, and engaging in small talk demonstrates interest. So reading the company's website isn't necessarily crucial, but it can give you access to small nuggets of information which you can use to ask questions or make points that show both being good or genuine interest in joining the company. It's just like explaining to your girlfriend or your boyfriend what attracted you to them when you first met. You want the interviewer to feel desired by you, without, of course, being needy. It can also be used to demonstrate that you're good.
You tell me, why should we hire you?
Oh, you people posted the job online now.
We did.
So you're looking for somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here I am. You called, I answered.
If you've read up on some interesting R&D the company is doing at the moment and you reference that at an appropriate time in the interview, there's a good chance that they'll again attribute some level of competence to you. All the things that you can do to indicate interest, so in terms of showing up on time, reading up on the website, having nuggets of information, that communicates interest. You also want to be high value. Playing hard to get is often a challenging balancing act, but it's necessary. Even at an executive level, executive outplacement consultants will advise these executives to always make sure that they're communicating that they're high value. And they do that by simple things like saying, I'm interviewing for multiple roles. I have multiple options. The advice is always to signal that you're in high demand. Statements like, I've got options and I'm in no rush to pick a role that doesn't fit me, are incredibly powerful because they signal that you're not desperate, but more than that you're high value. Taking it down to an entry-level job, the same thing applies.
How would I describe myself? 3 words. Hardworking, alpha male, jackhammer, merciless.
Of course, it's hard to pull off if you've been unemployed for 3 years, but generally, if you can send a signal that you are also picking the company, you are demonstrating in different ways that you are high value. Saying that you just want to leave a company goes against being interested and it goes against being high value. The best thing to say is, I'm happy where I am, but what I feel that this organization offers in terms of development and exciting tasks is superior to what I've got now, and I felt I couldn't pass up the opportunity to hear more. So if you pick that apart, saying you're happy where you are is high value because you're saying you're in no rush to leave. Then you're saying something about what this new company offers that's showing interest. When you say you've taken this as an opportunity to hear more, you're also communicating, I haven't taken the job yet. You have to convince me that your job is worth taking. That's high value communication. Being high value correlates with your skill set. If you possess a rare skill like, infrastructure security, you're going to be high value by default. Demonstrating experience with the technologies a company uses makes you both good and high value. And additionally, being high value means not lowballing yourself on salary. Salary is a topic for a separate video, and you'll have to come back for that one later on. But what you need to know is be good, be interested, and be high value. And finally, we got to it, be easy. Every single interviewer, no matter how good an interviewer is both consciously and subconsciously looking to assess whether or not you'll fit into the company and into the team. Seasoned interviewers or executives often say you should align your values with the company's. But these values are often just terms created by the CEO and not a result of some anthropological study of the company's culture. You have to consider them as the company's language and integrate that language into your own vocabulary. If it's a high-performance competitive organization, you need to demonstrate that you are a high-performance competitive individual. If the company values deep insight, then you show deep insight. Your goal is to fit in. And the easiest way to demonstrate that you fit in is by being easy. Think of clothing. You show up to the interview in jeans and a t-shirt. Everybody else is in a suit and tie. Your odds of not getting invited to the next interview definitely got worse. Is it because they thought you were badly dressed? Sure, on the surface, yes, but it's not really the case. What happened is they looked at you and instantly defaulted to the idea that it's going to be hard to have this person fit in. The difference in clothing styles signals that this is not going to be easy. Another example, the interviewer offers you coffee or tea. You say, no thanks, I don't drink coffee or tea. No big deal, right? Maybe not. But maybe they feel pressure to accommodate your special needs. Do you want something else? Do you want a cola? Do you want bottled water? You've potentially made that one interaction difficult. Nobody's expecting you to drink coffee once you're hired, but that one little thing is adding a teeny tiny bit of difficulty to the interview interaction, and that is being associated with you. One more example, a little bit more high stakes. So you make a statement at the interview about you want to leave because you have a psycho manager at your current job. Are you sounding easy or difficult? It doesn't matter that your boss might actually be a psycho. What they are hearing is that there's something difficult, and you risk them associating that difficulty with you. That's the principle of being easy. You want to make the experience of meeting you easy. The interview isn't the place where you put all your idiosyncrasies and weirdness on display. You want to create an environment from the moment you step in the door till you leave that was an easy experience. For those tech people out there, I'll put it this way. You don't want to be a self-build PC where somebody needs to read a manual and buy extra tools to get the thing to work. You want to be the Apple product. You want the beautiful packaging. You want the easy to open box. You slide it out of the laptop casing, you press the on button, you tap your phone to the screen, and you transfer your login and account and dates and all that stuff, and you're up and running. It's a seamless experience, and you want to create that experience because easy people, what we always want in our teams. So we put all these things together. There's two things you should be doing. First of all, you should be reviewing your previous interviews against those 4 principles. Where did you come off as strong? Where did you come off as weak? Where were you difficult or not easy? Did you demonstrate that you were good? Make adjustments and think about how you would approach a similar situation in a future interview. Secondly, you prepare for the upcoming interview with those 4 principles front and center. How do you come across as easy in this scenario? How would you demonstrate high value to this company and this interviewer? Have some answers ready for those classic questions. Make sure those answers paint you in a balance of easy, good, interested, and high value all together. And you have to keep one thing in mind. Recruiters that are worth their salt all know this. An interview is not a perfect proxy for evaluating whether someone is a fit for a job. In recruiting, we usually work with a metric called predictive validity. So on a scale from -1 to 1, how does this assessment method correlate with job success? A correlation of 1, so if you do well in the assessment, you would do well in the job, statistically speaking. A correlation of 0 means it's essentially flipping a coin. A structured interview on its own has a predictive validity of somewhere between 0.3 and 0.45. This is important to know because it means that an interview is only a moderately good method of assessing whether a person will succeed in a role or not. The bad news is that recruiters will sometimes get it wrong and not choose you, even though you would likely be good at the job. The good news is, if you're easy, you demonstrate you're good, show an appropriate amount of interest, and also seem like a catch, so high value, then your odds just went up. That's all you can do. You can stack the odds in your favor by being good, being interested, being valuable, and being easy. You've got this. If you have questions or comments, leave them below. I'll do my best to answer as many as possible. Leave a like, subscribe as well, and be back in 2 weeks when we're talking about what's going on with the layoffs in tech. Is it AI? Is it greed? Is it going to continue? See you then.